Chosen one. Pause for a moment and let your entire being grow still, as though you're listening for the faintest echo of your own heartbeat. There is something stirring in the atmosphere around you, a crackling current charged with raw possibility. You can feel it deep in your bones, that inner knowing that you stand on the threshold of a monumental decision. The time for excuses has expired. The moment for half measures is gone. This is your final step, the grand crescendo in the symphony of your life. But before we plunge into this transformative message, take a brief moment to do 3 simple things. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't yet, and comment 777 below. By taking these actions, you are affirming your readiness, broadcasting a powerful signal to the universe that you are done waiting, done wavering, and thoroughly committed to stepping into the destiny that has been calling your name all along. Reflect on every second you have spent circling your dreams, telling yourself you would leap once conditions improved or once you felt more secure. Recall the silent pleas you have whispered into the night, asking for a sign, a spark, something to confirm that your vision matters. Now you have your sign. This moment was orchestrated from beyond your logical mind, a cosmic appointment reminding you that everything you have lived through, the struggles, the near misses, the heartbreaks and the breakthroughs, was merely the prelude to your decisive act of courage. The clock has struck its final note for indecision. God, the universe, the cosmic force, call it what you will, has ordained that you take action now, without excuse, without turning back. Comment 777 if your heart resonates with these words. Each digit typed becomes a clarion call, echoing across the dimensions of fate, telling all forces of both light and darkness that you are no longer content to drift, that your spirit demands ignition, that you will not be confined by the illusions of fear or hesitation. Feel that subtle change in your chest as you do so. Your breath deepens, your pulse steadies, and a calm yet electrifying certainty unfolds within you. This is the calm before the storm, the hush before your spirit unleashes its full potential. In this hush, you can almost hear destiny stirring, waiting for you to cross the line between dreaming and doing. Now, let us speak plainly about your excuses. We all have them. Reasons, rationalizations, stories we tell ourselves when the leap appears too high, too risky, or too final. Maybe you've said you lack resources, or you lack time, or you need more knowledge. Perhaps you're waiting for the perfect alignment of circumstances, hoping your path will be cleared of all obstacles before you take that step. But here is the fierce truth. If you wait for perfect circumstances, you'll wait a lifetime. Conditions bend to the will of those who act in faith, not to those who remain paralyzed by the vanity of perfection. God has placed seeds of greatness in you that refuse to be nurtured by timidity. Instead, they demand your unyielding boldness, a conviction that even if you stumble, you will rise exponentially stronger. Pause. Again to comment 777. Envision each digit dissolving a different excuse you've used in the past, as though it were a shadow disintegrating under the blaze of a new dawn. Goodbye to, I don't have enough money. Farewell to, I don't have enough support. Adieu to, I'm not skilled enough. In their place stands an unshakable vow. I will proceed, I will do it now, and I will not retreat. There is a supernatural force that meets you the moment you reject your limitations. Think of it as divine momentum, a tailwind of grace that accelerates your journey, rendering your previous shortcomings inconsequential compared to the power that flows through decisive action. Yet you may still wonder, how do I know this is the final step? What if I'm not truly ready? Hear me clearly. Readiness is a myth. Growth is not something you finish, it's something you engage with perpetually. The final step doesn't demand you to be flawless, it demands you to be determined. When you step out in pure conviction, Life's storms rearrange themselves to accommodate your forward motion. Doors that were locked swing open at the slightest touch. Resources you never considered become accessible, and strangers step forward to assist you in ways you never predicted. Divine intervention often arrives disguised as coincidences and small miracles that only unfold once you have the audacity to move. Comment 777 if you embrace the concept that readiness is forged, not found. Each typed digit cements your faith, preparing the psychic soil for a harvest you once believed out of reach. This is the paradox of progress. You transform on the path, not before it. If you wait to transform in the safety of your comfort zone, you remain stagnant. True transformation ignites in the crucible of bold decision. That's how destiny is shaped, through leaps of faith that challenge your entire worldview, only to reward you with expansions in mind, spirit, and possibility. Now, consider the cost of postponing. Every day you procrastinate your boldest actions is a day you cannot get back. Time is the one resource that once spent can never be replenished. How many mornings have you woken up thinking about that dream, that calling, that whisper in your soul, yet allowed trivial obstacles to hold you in place? Consider, for a moment, the heartbreak of arriving at life's twilight, haunted by the echo of "what if?" That regret is a heavier burden than any risk you could face by acting now. Let that truth sink in. Let it disturb any complacency that still clings to you, lighting a fire that obliterates your second thoughts. Comment 777 if you're done living in the shadow of "what if?" Each digit typed stands guard against the specter of regret. In the hush that follows this affirmation, feel your spirit stirring, your heart forging a new vow. Never again will I allow the fear of failure to sabotage my inevitable greatness. The universe loves clarity. When your intention becomes laser-focused, the cosmos rearranges circumstances to align with your fervent conviction. Doubt scatters like dust in a gale, replaced by a quiet, unstoppable assurance that your final step is both your birthright and your responsibility. And do not think for a moment that the only impetus is personal ambition. Often, the calling inside you is not just for your benefit, but for those who will be inspired, aided, or awakened by your courageous example. When you shrink, you rob not only yourself, but the many who could be blessed by your fulfillment of purpose. The final step is seldom a selfish act. It's an act of service to a greater tapestry of lives. Perhaps your dream involves a creative pursuit, a new venture, or a mission to uplift others. How many hearts could you stir if you would just do it now, with no excuses, with every ounce of faith you possess? Comment 777 once more to confirm that you intend to let your victory reverberate far beyond your personal sphere. Each typed digit becomes a radiant declaration that your success is a collective triumph, that your destiny is intertwined with a cosmic design for uplifting humanity. In that sense, your final step is not solely about achieving a personal milestone. It's about contributing a chapter to the universal story of faith in action, shining a beam of hope into the corners of existence that remain locked in despair or doubt. Imagine how many others might see your leap and find in themselves the spark to do likewise. Yes, the road ahead may bristle with challenges. Gird yourself for them. Challenges are not divine punishments. They are catalysts that polish your potential into brilliance. The final step you're about to take is not an escape from trials, but a commitment to face them with unwavering determination. Those tests you fear might reveal your weaknesses. Embrace them, for they are the pivot points at which your capacity for resilience multiplies. Each time you confront a hurdle, you'll find yourself growing stronger, becoming more resourceful, and blossoming into the unstoppable force you were always meant to be. Comment 7777 if you're prepared to endure and transcend whatever adversities lie in wait. Each digit typed is a shield, a statement that your spirit is inviolable, your faith unbreakable, your momentum unstoppable. As you do this, feel the anxious knots in your mind untangle, replaced by the hush of divine assurance that if you'll just keep moving forward, solutions will materialize faster than problems can surface. That is the realm of miracles, not in sitting back and hoping, but in forging ahead and discovering that the universe meets you halfway. But let us also acknowledge the place of strategy. Though the final step demands boldness, it does not call for reckless chaos. Gather your resources, outline your immediate moves, and commit them to paper if needed. Think of your vision like a powerful river. Its flow is unstoppable, yet its direction can be channeled and harnessed for maximum effect. So reflect on how you can make your leap not just fervent, but effective. Map out a short-term plan and a long-term trajectory, and then take that first unstoppable stride into the unknown. Comment 777 again if you are ready to unite passion with planning. Each digit typed stands as a testament that you won't let your zeal fizzle out in confusion or scatter into unproductive flurry. Instead, you harness it like fuel in a well-engineered vehicle, set on a purposeful course. Only then does the synergy of heaven's backing and your grounded approach become an invincible wave of accomplishment. This is how you do it now, no excuse, final step. You might wonder about the reward that awaits you on the other side. While this journey is not purely transactional, the universe does have a habit of rewarding boldness with blessings that surpass your initial expectations. You may discover facets of yourself you never dared dream were there. Hidden strengths, dormant talents, new levels of faith that make your past self almost unrecognizable. And beyond that, you'll sense a joyful responsibility to help others along their own paths, to show them by example that the bravest decision is often the simplest, to do it now, before fear takes root. Comment 777 if you feel that stirring to inspire others. Each digit typed echoes your willingness to let your story be a beacon of possibility. Because once you've taken this final step, you can't help but shine a light for those still standing at the threshold. Your transformation becomes an invitation for them to break free from their shackles of doubt and to leap wholeheartedly into their own destiny. This is the chain reaction of courage. It emboldens not just the self, but the collective, forging a legacy of fearless progress. At this juncture, you might feel a swirl of anticipation in your stomach or a gentle trembling in your spirit. That's the pulse of destiny coursing through your veins, urging you not to linger any longer. Don't wait for another day, another sign, another promise that conditions will improve. You must become the catalyst for improvement. You must seize the fleeting moment where faith overrides logic, where purpose supplants hesitation. That is the crucible from which new worlds are born, when souls like yours decide that it's now or never, and they choose. Comment 777. To banish any last vestige of reluctance, let every stroke of the keyboard be a final stand against inertia. This is how you reclaim the narrative of your life from the clutches of uncertainty. In this act of surrender and fierce resolve, you transcend the limits that once pinned you down. Let the thrill of this decision reverberate in your heart, reminding you that you're not stepping into a vacuum, but into a field of infinite potential orchestrated by forces that know you intimately and have every intention of guiding you to triumph. You may face criticism from those who cannot comprehend your urgency. They might say you're impulsive, reckless, or naive. Yet realize that people bound by fear often label courage as folly. This is not your burden to carry. You were chosen for a reason, called forth to break old molds, to challenge what the world deems safe or sensible. By taking this final step, you step into a lineage of pioneers, world changers, and visionaries who soar beyond the horizon of conventional thinking. Their names grace history, and your name too is etched in the cosmic scroll of those who dared to do it now. No excuse. Comment 7777. One more time if you choose to stand among that lineage. Imagine each digit typed as a stepping stone, bridging the gap between who you've been and who you are becoming. If doubt still clings to the edges of your consciousness, let it be drowned out by the roar of your awakening spirit, which refuses to settle for a life half-lived. Know that once you cross this threshold, you'll look back and marvel at how trivial your old excuses appear in the radiant light of your new reality. Picture the moment you finally act, the second your will becomes unstoppable momentum, the heartbeat in which your potential is unleashed upon the world. It might be signing that contract, launching that business, submitting that creative work, or forging a new partnership. Or it could be an internal shift of epic proportions, letting go of a toxic relationship, forgiving a deep wound, or publicly declaring the dream you once kept secret. Whatever form it takes, the universe responds swiftly and tangibly, meeting your leap with arms wide open. Comment 777. If the very thought of that synergy awakens a thrill within your core, let it reaffirm your place in the unstoppable current of transformation. You're not alone in this. Entire legions of angels or universal energies stand behind you, championing your success. If only you could see the spiritual realm, you would glimpse the hosts celebrating each step you take out of your comfort zone. This sense of celestial camaraderie is not a fantasy, but a profound truth that only becomes clearer once you commit. And understand, chosen soul, that you are forging a covenant with life itself. When you declare, "I will do it now, no excuse," you are effectively telling the universe that you trust divine order more than your fleeting insecurities. You become a participant in the grand design, a co-creator shaping your path in harmony with eternal wisdom. This is the final step, because once you embrace it, there is no turning back. Your old self dissolves, leaving behind a spirited warrior who moves with intention, unstoppable in pursuit of the vision placed in your heart. Comment 7777 if you feel that warrior spirit stirring in your chest. Each time you do, sense the dissolution of the final remnants of doubt. Let your mind become a fortress of certainty, your heart a temple of unwavering conviction. You were never meant to live life shackled by small thinking or hesitant dreams. You were crafted to embody the boldness of creation, to push boundaries, and to manifest your highest calling in a world that desperately needs the spark of your full potential. Time moves quickly. Tomorrow becomes yesterday in a blink. Yet in this single pivotal moment, you hold the power to shift your trajectory forever. Are you truly willing to let this moment slip by, hoping that fortune will find you while you remain unmoving? Or will you break the shell of inertia and surge forward like an arrow unleashed? The choice is entirely yours, but know that the universe rarely repeats the same invitation twice with identical intensity. Act now, and you harness the winds of grace at their strongest gale. Comment 777. To confirm that you choose this instant to finalize your commitment. Picture any fear shriveling away under the radiance of your awakened purpose. Each keystroke is a vow to banish excuses from your vocabulary, to greet opportunities with, "Yes, I am here," rather than "maybe someday." That is the posture of greatness, the unstoppable posture of one who has decided that a half-lived existence is no longer acceptable. This posture magnetizes resources, allies, and revelations, all aligning to accelerate your journey. In the coming hours or days, you might feel an extraordinary calm sweep over you, as though a higher presence wraps you in reassurance. Alternatively, you might experience a surge of energy so potent that sleeping feels impossible. Both are normal. Embrace whichever emotional response arises, knowing it is part of your metamorphosis. The final step is, by definition, life-altering, so do not be surprised if your being trembles with excitement or wonder. Roll with it, let it shape you, and keep your eyes forward. Comment 777. To welcome every wave of transformation. This unwavering act signals to the cosmos that you're not interested in half measures, that your soul craves the fullness of destiny. Feel the shift in your internal dialogue. No longer do you say, "I wish" or "I hope," but rather, "I will," "I am," and "I claim." Such confident language births reality from possibility, summoning forth the resources that your mind might deem unattainable. This is how miracles are born, in the soil of resolute conviction. Finally, dear one, let us acknowledge that once you take this step, your life may never be the same. Old circles might not resonate with your new drive, old routines might feel suffocating, and old beliefs might crumble in the face of unstoppable evidence of your newfound momentum. Accept these changes as the necessary pruning that allows new growth. Some relationships might fade, replaced by connections that foster expansion rather than stagnation. Expect a reconfiguration of your environment to match the frequency of your determination. Comment 777. Once more, sealing your acceptance of this reconfiguration. Let each digit typed stand for a door closing on your limitations, a window opening onto breathtaking vistas of possibility. This is your final step for a reason. It marks an irreversible shift in your identity, one you would never trade for the false security of your past. Rather than mourn what you leave behind, celebrate what you gain. The authenticity of a life lived on purpose, the exhilaration of forging your path with heaven's endorsement. Chosen one, do it now. No excuse. Final step. This is not a request, it's a decree from the highest realm of your own soul, from the voice of destiny that transcends your fleeting fears. God has not brought you this far to let you stall on the precipice. The command is direct and simple, though not always easy. Leap now, trusting that the same power which kindled the stars will also cushion your landing. That is the nature of grace. To catch you even if your jump appears reckless to onlookers. But to them, it's reckless. To you, it's alignment with fate. Comment 777 to finalize your vow, I will jump and I will not hesitate. Let that vow resonate in your every waking moment, shaping your decisions, your outlook, your sense of self. Whenever you sense doubt creeping in, return here. Let these words flood your consciousness, reminding you that destiny favors the bold, that illusions of scarcity dissolve when confronted by unwavering conviction. There is no room left for cautionary tales or shrinking hearts. You have chosen the path less traveled, and in so doing, you open gates to wonders that remain hidden from the timid. Yes, some will call you fearless, others might call you mad, but you shall be content with the knowledge that you answered the divine summons, that you took the final step with all the audacity and trust your soul could muster, and once you are on the other side, living the life your heart has always whispered about, you will realize that the only regret would have been not to jump at all. The beauty of this moment is that you are still here, breath in your lungs, purpose in your spirit, readiness in your stance. So do it now, chosen one. No excuse remains to restrain your ascent. Remember, you hold the pen to your life's next chapter. Will it be an echo of old limitations or a roar of new beginnings? The cosmos listens for your decision. With the final step, you set off a chain reaction of blessings, expansions, and revelations that will cascade into every future day, forging a legacy that resonates far beyond your personal timeline. The choice is yours to make, but time will not wait. Embrace it wholeheartedly, this final step, And do it now with no excuse. Let your unwavering yes become the anthem of your unfolding destiny, and watch as the universe heeds your resolve with miracles that shatter your old boundaries forever.